Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to be covering Lesion and how to play him like a master. So first off, let's go over his loadout. From the top we have the Goo Mine. I think we all know what that is. If you get hit with it, it slows you, does ticking damage, you have to pull it out. The T5 SMG, great weapon, really low recoil. It doesn't do an insane amount of damage, but it is a good amount of damage. In the case you do want to increase the damage or bullet drop off, you can take the extended barrel. Personally, I played with it for a while and I enjoyed it, but there's often times where I definitely would have gotten the frag if I wasn't using it due to the little extra recoil, so I tend to stick with the flash hider. Although I don't see it often, the shotgun is great on Lesion. For maps like Lair, you can go underneath Mezzanine and get some frags through the floor oftentimes, so definitely not a bad choice on occasion. In terms of his secondaries, we have the Super Shorty and his pistol. The Shorty will be getting removed in the next season, so in this video I'm going to try to pull away from that just so it's in preparation for that. Although the pistol is really good. It's a 10 round mag and it does 60 damage. That's a lot of damage for a pistol. And then for his gadget, we have the BP and the observation blocker. Observation blockers are good, but I don't think they're great. And I definitely wouldn't take an observation blocker over a BP, especially on Lesion, being that he's meant for slowing down the attackers and you can play off the information of the BP. Let's take it in the game. All right, so you can see we're on Clubhouse. Now, first thing for Lesion, his utility is when you place his traps for windows, always place them kind of to the side. The reason you do this for new players, when you're in higher ranks or just playing against better players, when they jump in, they tend to shoot down. This is to check for frost traps. By having it off to the side, it just reduces that chance that they get it when they spray down. Second off, I think it's kind of obvious. Always place traps off to the side of doors. You don't want the attacker seeing it. Obviously, you can see the little thingy sticking out here, but that doesn't matter. They're not going to be looking there, and as you can see, my scope kind of blocks it, or it's just off screen. When it comes to stairs can be a little tricky with Lesion because, as you can see, if we're pushing the stairs as an attacker and we're coming up, this is very easy to see, especially if I'm just holding here. Even if I'm holding, not even looking towards it, you can see it showing up real big on the side of my screen. So if you're trying to hold the top of a staircase, kind of treat it kind of like a doorway, as if this were a double door. You can double Lesion it if you want. I personally don't care to use my Lesions like that. A trick you can do, and it can work, is if you kind of like this railway and you place it just around the corner. Fix that a little bit, tuck it in a little bit. Oftentimes you can get somebody like this because they'll be checking like this and they just won't see that. So when it comes to the usage of his Goo Mines, he does get a lot, but the thing is, you don't get infinite. And so I like to take the perspective of the Goo Mine is blocking off an area. It doesn't stop the enemies from pushing through that area, but it serves as, no matter what, I will hear this person going through this area. So here's like a really good example of optimizing your Goo placement. Ignore how fucked up that sounds. So we know that people like to push from cache side of the map on club, as even if you're playing master, sometimes they'll even push from this window. So think about this. We put one here for in case they push highway into server or CC. We put one here in case they push from rafters, and then we put one here for garage and one here for storage. So although this blocks off all of these entry points, we have rafters, they can't come from here. If they do, we'll hear it. You're using a lot. We used, I think, 5 here. So instead of placing all of these, we can instead place them somewhere somewhat closer to the objective and still have the same effectiveness, especially when it comes to how you're going to play. You're not able to hold all of these places at once, and you won't be able to react to all of those traps at once. This also doesn't even mention like readability. So imagine you have, 5 traps in the span of from here all the way down to the bottom of red. When you hear that go off, and let's say you're, in construction fighting a guy construction window, or you're holding Logi because somebody dropped, whatever, you're not going to know which one that was. So if you narrow down the amount you place into very specific places, it can be a lot easier for readability. So for example, I like to put one here, kind of like tucked into this corner, so the person that's coming from CC window has a harder time seeing that. I put one on CC window, and then one here on the cache door. What that allows me to know is if I hear one on the side of the map, it's either CC, no matter if it's these two, this person is in CC, and if it's this one, that sounds closer like it's from cache, they're in cache. Very easy to read, doesn't use nearly as many. I have 5 extra to put elsewhere. And this kind of segues us into the second part of Lesion. Lesion is a slower operator, but he's kind of like a roamer, but not a full-blown roamer. He doesn't, play across the map. You don't really want to do that. So notice 1, 2. We're 2 rooms away, and we could even play 3 rooms away. We could even extend how far we can play without limiting our efficiency here by having this rotate open, and we can hold bottom red, top garage, and CC window, and even if crazy situation calls for it, we can play into construction. So roam with Lesion, but don't go too far because you're slow and you're loud. Now here's why we take the BP. In this case, it's very simple. This rotate is often open into gym. The top of this wall tends to be opened. Because these two things are open, we can place our BP in cache, and this allows us info on cache, construction, Logi jump, Logi vault wall, and gym, and master, if they jump in the master window. Just this one BP can see 4 rooms, technically almost a 5th. Having that type of information throughout the round is not only beneficial for you, but also your team. I also want to show an example of why his shotgun can be good. As you can see, somebody's pushing me from lobby. I get droned out. 2 shots, that guy's dead. I know that somebody's operational, and because this guy droned me out from weapon maintenance, I know he's coming. Again, very strong position for a shotgun. He pushes up. I down him, easy. And then I know this guy is here. He knows I'm here, but there's nothing he can do about that. He tries nading, it obviously fails. Then if we skip to the end of the round here, just trolling a little bit with a pistol, showing how great his pistol is. I just one-shot him. And then hit the crack shot on Finka. Or Zoph. That was Zoph. Okay, let's recap everything we covered. For the loadout, he's losing the super shorty. Not a big deal, as we learned. The SMG is cracked because of the recoil, but if you want a little extra damage, you can take the long barrel. The BP is strong for full round intel, not only for yourself, but your teammates. In game, throw the goose to the side of the windows so the attackers don't get it on the way in. And optimize your trap placement for readability. Don't place too many, place a little less, but in more optimized spots. And last of all, place your BP for reactionary play. Somebody hits your trap, you're able to open up your BP, see what he's doing, see if he's pulling it out, make a play off of it. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck in your games.